This is a very emotional week here at Channel 11. Our main anchor, our newsroom leader, and our very good friend David Johnson is retiring. And over the next 3 nights, we'll celebrate David's 40 years on Pittsburgh television. And tonight, we take you back to how it all started.
You found your way to the airport, you found a parking space, but how do you get from your car to the landside terminal?
David Johnson has been a familiar face on Pittsburgh television for 40 years, but this chapter of a now legendary career almost didn't happen.
When you came here too, I mean, did you have any idea that you would be here this long?
No.
Or were you think this was just a quick stop? You came here from WSB. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the CMG, the same corporate owner as owns Channel 11. Well, I got a call. I was a night side reporter at Channel 2 in Atlanta.
The future of the trucking industry, according to Dudley, is to adapt. He says some long-distance companies won't be able to do that, so they'll go out of business.
And it was the general manager who said, we've seen you and we think you could be an anchor, and you could be weekend or noon anchor if you want. And I didn't know anything about Pittsburgh, other than the Steelers and the Pirates. I grew up in the South. I had an outsider's view of Pittsburgh. There's steel mills, it's smoky, it's awful, it's dirty. So I said no to the first phone call. But then Nancy, my wife, said, if they call back, take the interview. What's it hurt to go and see it and ask if I can come? And they did allow her to come, and we came through the tunnel. It wasn't a particularly pretty day, but you know, boom, there's the city. And we both said, oh my God, why didn't they tell us about this?
For David, love at first sight, but there were some bumps along the way.
So I had accepted the job. I'm at a bar with a good friend of mine who worked at a rival station in Atlanta. And so we're talking about Pittsburgh, and of course there's a Pittsburgher. At the end of the bar, he overhears us and he says, oh, where are you going? And I said, PXI. And what newscast? I mean, he really knew a lot. And I said, the noon news. And he kind of chuckled. It sounds like I'm describing a movie scene. And he takes a hit of his drink and he says, Patty and Daddy are gonna kick your. And I can say, Patty and Daddy are gonna kick your butt. And, you know, for the sanitized version. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, you'll find out. And so I found out it was a father-daughter anchor team on Channel 2 doing the noon news. And at the time, they got Steelers-like rating numbers.
David spent 4 years anchoring the noon news. Then he would pair up with a photographer to report.
We're now in the ticketing area of the landside building, and take a good look. It is massive.
Learning the city, its politics, its diverse neighborhoods and heritage, until a sudden and unexpected promotion.
So the anchorman at the time got into this argument with the news director. He was from Texas. He wanted to go back to Texas. They wouldn't let him. So they put him on overnight cut-ins. And the news director called me and said, you're doing the 11 tonight. And I thought, wow, this is crazy. And I really hadn't wrapped my head around I was 32. Everybody else either, you know, had gray hair on the other stations, really, really well-known names. And I thought, you know, wow, they're taking a chance on me. I'm this young whippersnapper kid from Florida. But, you know, lo and behold, that was summer of 1989. So I'd done the noon news for 4 years. And then that was it. Never went back, and I'm very grateful.
Live from Television Hill, this is Channel 11 News First at 5 with David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan.
1 year later, Peggy Finnegan joined David on the anchor desk. David and Peggy went on to anchor together for 30 years, the longest running anchor duo in Pittsburgh history.
And Peggy, here are the latest developments in what's been a history-changing day in all of our lives.
When his on-air partner retired in 2020, David remained a warm and friendly face on screen for Pittsburgh viewers and a calming presence behind the scenes.
Susan's up first. Next.
Okay.
Hello, George.
Hi, David.
You've been our newsroom leader.
And
It's
there's
weird to think that.
well, but it's true. I mean, you know
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
people look to you, and people have said, I know that there are people who've come up to you
Yeah.
and said, I grew up watching you.
I know.
We have people working here on
Yeah.
staff who have said they
Yeah.
literally grew up watching you.
I'm humbled by that. I really am, and I'm very grateful.
What are you going to miss the most?
I'm going to miss the people. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss walking into a newsroom and feeling the vibe. When there's that big buzz, it's a big story, it's breaking news. You can feel it right away. And even when it's not a big news day, it's something special about a newsroom. So I'm going to miss walking around talking to people. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Newsrooms have been my life for 45 years. I worked here for 40, but 5 years at various TV stations before this. So it's really all I've known. Then that newsrooms have been my home, and and my other family. Channel 11 is my TV family, and I cherish them, and I'm going to miss it.
Oh my gosh, we are so gonna miss you. It still, and I know I've told you this, it doesn't feel real, and we're super excited. We have to say we are very excited for his retirement because it gives you a chance to do things that you want to do, to spend more time with your
Thank you.
grandkids. But man, are we gonna miss you?
I'm going to miss you guys too, and a great job by whoever put that story together. I want that hair back, I can tell you that right now.
We were saying they must have they went really deep into the archives, didn't they, for those stories? Some of
Yeah,
those pictures
they
I had
did.
never seen before, but the
I'm told
video,
it's
the stories.
Superstar photographer and editor Ryan Minutello responsible for a lot of that work.
And
so
Cindy
thank
McGrath
you,
also
guys.
did an
Yes,
awesome job
there's
putting it
several
all
people
together.
involved,
I mean,
know.
a lot of people, a lot of hands in this, putting all the pictures, finding the pictures. Brian Krills did a lot
Oh,
with
yeah.
it. So a lot
I
of people
agree.
behind the scenes
Thank
made
you,
all of
guys.
that
Thank you.
happen. And we're so happy for you, but again, it's the
Thanks
only
very
thing,
much.
we're celebrating you.
I know, Stephen, you agree. Wouldn't it be great to have that kind of hair back again?
Oh, there's no question.
Thick, lustrous, dark.
No question, David. And, you know, I've said it before, as great a journalist you are, you're an even better person, and I mean that. So
That's-
you will be
That
missed.
means a lot.
You will.